I'm Vic Myers. Welcome to The Resistance. So in 2019, Ruocco v. Common Cause was a landmark Supreme Court decision written by none other than the Chief Justice John Roberts. In his decision, he said, partisan gerrymandering claims present political questions beyond the reach of the federal courts. So in other words, call it politics and you get a free pass to draw districts however you want. And I reckon this is what the Republicans were counting on when they decided to start doing mid-decade redistricting. So here we are in 2025, and Republicans did a highly unusual and even more suspicious mid-decade redistricting at the direct behest of Donald Trump and for the purposes of expanding the Republican majority in the U.S. House. They said that was the reason. But was it? Was it really? Or was this just a pathetic attempt to use politics and political gerrymandering as a way to keep black people from having a voice in their government? Because in that same 2019 decision, Ruocco v. Common Cause, Justice Roberts also said that racial gerrymandering is not allowed and that his decision should not be read to say otherwise. So what are those poor Republicans supposed to do when they want to gerrymander in a way that increases the white vote and hurts the black vote? What they do is they come up with a very convenient political excuse to do partisan gerrymandering. But when they gerrymandered, they were extremely careful in how they drew those lines. And the appeals court saw right through it. Because the moment they put that map under a microscope, the story fell apart. Today, in a 2-1 decision that was written by a Trump-appointed judge, the federal court said that the Texas redistricting maps cannot stand. And the reason they gave for this ruling was that after they looked at all the evidence, when they looked at the emails, they looked at the lines that were drawn, they looked at the voters who were excluded, they reached the obvious conclusion that this gerrymandering was far more racial than it was political. And it was laid out in black and white. No pun intended. You know, on one hand, after reading this, I should be infuriated as an American who believes in equality for all. And it does piss me off that their gerrymandering was so blatantly racial. But at the same time, gotta admit I'm really enjoying what I'm reading because it exposes the racism Republicans were trying so hard to hide. And while this is happening, they're also challenging California's redistricting in court after insisting that Texas do it. But here's the difference. California put the question to the voters. California asked whether the public wanted to redraw the maps. And if California were to redraw those lines in a way that racially discriminates, then the feds would absolutely have a case to throw their map out. Somehow, I seriously doubt that's going to happen. So what we're likely to see, folks, is Texas forced back to their 2021 maps while California continues with a voter-approved process Republicans keep pretending is the same thing. You know, when I was preparing this video, there's a really big part of me that wanted to point out how this whole mess, it kind of makes it look like the Democrats are a whole lot smarter than the Republicans. But at the same time, I didn't want to sound like an elitist asshole, right? So I'll put it this way. I didn't have to say the Democrats look smarter. Texas Republicans did that for me. Thanks for listening. Good day.